listening to Strange Label.
Hello, it's the Chris Break Show. I'm Chris Break, and my good friend John Rapp and the jubilant Jake. And we got some guests tonight, some awesome ones. Let's get this thing started. Again, I'm Chris Break. We are live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on strangelabel.com. And as I've not said in a long time, because it hasn't been true and I don't want to lie to you, it is a beautiful night in Indianapolis tonight. And we have two guests on the phone right now and another one to join us. But at this moment, we have Mr. Dale J. Gordon. Hey.
Yeah.
And Rob Stewart.
What up?
Now, what the hell's going on, guys? Dale, you have a new album out now, Folk Art Law.
Yeah, it's officially out. The one that you guys gave me a bunch of shit about getting done.
Oh, did we?
Well, yeah, because I would send you stuff as it got done, and so it wasn't new to you. And you're like, where is it for other people? And I was like, I don't care. Because you guys have it.
Wait, it wasn't new to us. So when the album finally came out, it was like, I've heard all these songs.
I think that was your comment.
Except for the Lizard song.
Oh, okay.
And a few other ones.
I held back a few for you so that you'd be surprised. But that doesn't change the fact that I sent it to you in one big long track that if you had any glitches, you just either started over or
yeah. So Dale's like, he wants to make it difficult so nobody does any illegal stuff, although it probably only would have taken a few minutes to separate the tracks. But he sends me 1 hour-long MP3 file. Not
with my computer. Nothing takes a couple of minutes.
Yeah, you're not even on your computer today.
No,
because you don't have enough memory to run Skype. Now you have the master claymation machine.
Yes.
So Dale, what the hell's going on? I was talking to you last night about this claymation, and that is a lot of work. And the way Rob was explaining it to me was it takes you guys how many hours have you put into this thing so far?
Well, I'll let Rob take over about that, but I mean, yeah, it's for a music video, for starters. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've always loved the look of it and wanted to know the process. And so we got together and we talked about, which songs would work. And then I was surprised to find out, a song that's 5 or 6 minutes, there's a hell of a lot more claymation than a song that we did pick to do that was 409. So, because he knows all the details about that, this is a safer start for us. But I'll let him talk to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to, Dale, I appreciate all that information, but I just wanted the simple question answered of how much time have you put into this thing so far?
In terms of just like hours?
Yes.
Oh, man. Well, we started back in January, toying with the idea, and then we really started hunkering down and pulling nights, just building and designing back in February. And it was we'll just say it was 3 hours or 3 nights a week, an average of 6 hours a night for 5 or 6 weeks. So it's 18 times 6.
And we have how many?
What's 18? Hold on, wait. What's 18 times 6?
Oh man, that's been a while since I was in 3rd grade.
108.
So you put 108 hours into this, and you have, I believe you said 17 seconds of footage.
That was when we talked to you last night. We started at around 8, and we went to...
Oh, you have 18 seconds now?
No.
No, we
actually, you'd be really surprised. We actually made a solid 10 seconds last night. That's 120 frames.
Yeah. But only about 1 or 2 hours of sleep per 24 chunks.
That's true.
For us. And everybody's got their day job.
Yep.
A lot of coffee involved in this one, guys.
Yeah. Well, I work at a cafe, so there's a lot of coffee involved in my day job.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Sorry, I was pointing. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, it's coming along as well as can be expected. Sure.
Jake looked like he was about to say something, so I was pointing at him saying, I have something I'm going to say, Jake, so say what you're going to say right fucking now before I change it to what I'm going to talk about. And I pointed at him, and he looked behind him and stuck his hand behind John Rapp's wall because he thought I was saying that John Rapp needs to hand him something. And then, and they can't see each other. All John sees is his hand coming at him, and he just looks at it and fist bumped it looked like, or tickled it. And yeah, I don't understand what's happening here, but what I was going to say was, I forgot. But no, this is not just pre-existing items. Like, you guys are getting crazy on this. This isn't just taking like a character, like a piece of plastic that already exists. You're molding all these things out of clay. You're actually making all these fucking characters.
Yeah. A lot of the time was spent, constructing, reconstructing, realizing that like, oh, this dude is way too big. He can't even stand under his own weight. And we're making the skeletons, by the way, out of 24 gauge galvanized steel / plant hanging wire and meat skewers, and then putting Sculpey on top of it. So it's like, it was a whole thing. A lot of it was trial and error, and a lot of it was just making mistakes and realizing like, oh, so only the last week have we really been getting the frames rolling in.
Yeah, now we're getting a rhythm now.
You guys have this youthful spirit, because I remember when John and I shot a film that we never finished because our computers bonked out on us. But yeah, I apologize to all the people involved. One day it will come out. But full-length feature film. But yeah, we would do this thing where we'd work, and then we'd have to get basically all-nighters almost. Wake up super early, on days you shouldn't be, get the sun just right. And that's what you fuckers are doing. You guys are, like, I think, you guys show up at your house at 8 or 9 or something, and then you go till 5 a.m., and then Dale, you wake up and go to work at 7?
Dang.
Yeah.
Like, that's some useful. I can't do
that.
that.
I'll tell you, the night thing, primarily, that's practical because of control of light.
Yeah.
There is So there isn't any light coming in from the windows in the room that we're working, so we control all the light. Whereas if we do anything in the middle of the day, the light's going to change just that little bit all day long. If you're shooting for 6 hours, we have our lights that we're using on the set, but we'd have to cloak everything, really.
Yeah, that sun goes a quarter way around the sky in 6 hours.
But it's
Dale,
the best ideas. Dale, you're a resourceful guy. Haven't you ever heard of something that I believe is called a Coke blanket?
What? Are you asking whether that has it occurred to us to use drugs to stay up all night long? No, we haven't.
In your album Digital Wiccan, there is it's also a book of poetry, not just song lyrics, but poetry that is not songs in it. And one of them is all about this Coke blanket. And you told me that it was a blanket when you do too much cocaine and your days and nights get shifted, that when you need to sleep, you put up a blanket that blocks out all the light, and you duct tape it to your wall around your window.
Yes, that came from bartending and partying really hard, and you're climbing into your bed at 8 a.m. when everyone else is waking up and the sun is coming up, and all the cars start getting really loud, and that sun is just like right on your face, and you're already feeling very terrible about who you are and all the things you've done, and so you try to tape up this big black blanket over your window, and then it's kind of like nighttime.
Well, thanks for the bad memories there, but can't you just do that? You don't have to do these all-nighters. You can just tape all the sunlight out, can't you?
Okay. Check 1, 2, we're back.
Welcome back. You're live every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on the strangelabel.com.
Whoop! What was that, a commercial break?
Live. Station ID. Station identification.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. We were like, what happened? We're gone. We got cut off.
You remember when you're a kid and you're listening to the Cubs games or watching the Cubs games on WGN when they still used to show them, and, Steve Stone be talking, and all of a sudden in the middle of his words, he'd just go, we have to pause for station identification. And then it goes, WGN. Okay, now Sosa has and then he just keeps going.
So you guys are familiar with this whole the process. So you were shooting, I think it was Imaginary You, which I saw a trailer for, and a really well done. It was really a really well done trailer, and it was very intriguing. But anytime I asked about it, I do believe you guys
yelled at you.
Yeah, you said don't bring it up.
It's a sore spot.
Yeah, sore spot for sure.
It hurts. It really hurts to have the project that you invested so much energy and time and money.
You get a baby going, that thing pops out in 9 months.
Yeah.
This thing is still inside.
Still birth.
It's
Yeah.
That bun's in the oven for a long time at this point.
Yeah, you're like compacted, It's in there. It's just festering.
It's been
and
sitting in the
rotting.
incubator all dried up.
This is getting super awesome.
It's a little zombie baby waiting to make its way out.
You know what I tell people that, the people that have kids and stuff,
It's becoming vintage.
you know what I mean?
30 years in the making.
That doesn't make me feel bad. I mean, look at Eraserhead.
Yeah. How long did that take to make?
Wasn't there like a 9-year stretch or something?
He just
like
stopped working on it. He was gonna finish it in animation or something for a while.
Like there's a scene where there's a scene in Eraserhead, right, where like the guy walks through a door, but in real life, when he comes out the other side, 9 years have passed.
Yeah, he had a beast of a time making that. We're gonna one up him. We're gonna wait longer. Be more angry about it.
Could you pick it up again, do you think? I mean,
Yeah, we just need to get some editing systems.
Yeah, we
is
need
it a matter of all the footage is secure? Like you wouldn't be taking
We got all the
act
footage.
and finding
We got everything. We just need a computer system. We were editing at a high school,
Yeah, there was this guy let us edit.
which is that's very nice.
Yeah, there was this really nice guy from Joe Mama Productions. Real name.
Yeah,
And,
it's such a funny name, Joe Mama.
Yeah. And he offered us all these things. So I'm going to help you out. And he gave us a, he worked at a high school. It'll be unnamed. And
he worked. He
Yeah.
worked. He used to work at a high school.
Joe Mama.
used to work at high school.
Joe Mama Productions. So is he the janitor?
And he let,
No,
no,
He
he
keeps his
was,
computer in like the mop closet.
he was the AV
You
teacher.
guys
He's,
can edit in here anytime y'all.
you bring me some cigarettes.
bring me some cigarettes and take out the trash. Sweep these floors. I'll let you-
40 OD ain't gonna hurt either, boys.
each hallway buys you 30 minutes. Each hallway you clean gets you 30 minutes on the decks.
So Chris is in there editing. I'm out there sweeping the floor. No,
If you would not believe how much gum these fuckers put under the tables.
he was like the AV teacher. He was a respectable teacher there.
Yeah, they do the morning announcements and all that jazz. And he would let us come in after school was over, and sometimes there'd be students in there catching up on work, and we'd just sit there next to these high school students, us two knuckleheads, and
Were you the older guys that already graduated?
Unfortunately, yeah.
no, this was not.
It wasn't our school.
Yeah, no, we were
Even worse.
23 at the time. This,
But
yeah,
who
we'd
knows
never,
who they thought we were.
Yeah, we'd never
That
been
was
to
like
this
your
school.
8th senior year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd just be in there doing our thing, capturing, editing, and all this shit. And then one day, Jake, wait, I'm sorry. We're not going to say his name. Not this Jake here. A different Jake, but that's not his name. Yeah, let's call him Jake. That's a good fake name. So anyway, this fake guy, Jake, who was letting us edit in there at the school, apparently he didn't want to deal with having to stay after and us doing all this. And, he just didn't want to deal with us anymore, I guess. So he stopped showing up. So we go there to edit, and all the doors are locked to the AV room, and we can't get the movie done, And next,
What's up with that?
yeah,
Stop showing up to his own classroom?
Well, after
This
he
was
didn't
after school.
he didn't stay late to he didn't like call us. He wouldn't.
You
we
show
just-
up before school ends.
yeah. So we
Wait
just,
a second.
so
You
we
guys
talked.
are always on
Well,
me about computers. You need to tell me you guys didn't have a.
Hold up, bro.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got
So-
a tech problem.
So we went in there, and we're like, "What's up?" And we went to the janitor lady, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen you with Mr. So and So. Yeah, I'll let you in." So we'd show up, and this guy had no idea. This teacher, who just thought the situation was solved because he was ignoring us. He had no idea that after he left, we were coming in, and the janitors were letting us into his
I
classroom.
didn't remember that. He just swept it under the rug. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, and then the principal of the
Coming in
school,
every day.
the principal of the school, then told the lady, because then we came in one day and she's like, "Yeah, Principal so and so said that I can't let you guys in anymore, and this is Mr. So and so." Yeah,
So don't promise something that's not going to work out. That's the lesson there. Oh yeah, you guys use whatever you want. Yeah.
That's that's a good reason to never take handouts from people too, or follow them up on like you can do laundry at my house anytime
That's because then they're going to take it.
because something if that falls through then you're that guy who's like
no, we ended up
Man.
paying that guy like at least $1,000.
oh I thought this was free.
Well, technically that part was free, but we had rented all
It
his
was added
equipment.
bonus.
Yeah, it was an added bonus. It was just a guy helping a guy, and then he just stopped showing up. So then we had to help ourselves,
Yeah.
You dig?
I dig.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, oh, yeah. Hey, we got a guest, guys. This guy's name, we got to call him up right now on Skype with you guys.
He's a Shakespeare genius.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk to this guy. Feel free to chime in whenever you want. Don't be too obnoxious.
Sure.
Rob.
It was bacon.
Bacon.
Is he like qualified for stuff?
I don't know. Hello?
You alive?
Hello? 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 Hello?
Tell him to turn down his radio.
Hello? Hello?
Tell him to turn it down.
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
You alive on the Chris Break Show?
Tim Spearman.
Hello, guys. How are you?
How you doing? Oh, man.
Quite a nice barbershop quartet you got going there.
Yep, that's how we do it on the Chris Break Show. You sound kind of far away from your computer.
Okay, how's that?
Whoa.
I'm closer now.
That's getting good.
It's getting better.
I could hear you.
Guys, let me handle this. It doesn't sound good. It does sound a little bit better.
I thought everyone could just do their thing.
Dale,
You know.
please. Tim?
Yes.
Yeah, you sound really in the distance there. Is there any way you can get like a little bit closer, or do you have a headset or a mic or something? Or
Yeah. Just keep talking, and I'll see what I can do here.
all right, thanks. Thank you so much, sir.
No problem.
See, Dale, you gotta let me handle these things because too many people. What do they call? What do they say, John?
Too many cooks in the
Cooks
kitchen.
in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought I had it on mute. Okay, I'm going to mute until I really have something good to say. Bye.
Oh, okay.
Well, Tim Spearman has
Well,
written lots of books and screenplays about Shakespeare, Titanic, and Gandhi.
Yeah, this guy has so many books. Go to shakespeare.com to get more information on Tim Spearman. There is enough information there on that website to fulfill your needs for at least 24 hours.
Okay. Wow. That's quite a mouthful there. I don't know. 24 hours. Jeez. Wow.
Yeah, it took me that long just to get through the menu. And I clicked menu, and there was just so much information, so many links. You know, you're a busy man.
Yeah, I've done a lot of research over the many eons, and I don't know what it's done for me, but I hope it's done something for you, for you guys out there.
Now, what did you actually do research on the writer known as Shakespeare?
Yeah, a lot of research and also, just trying to understand the plays and what their true significance is,
Before we move on, I do want to say that you don't sound too much louder, and I could turn you up on my end, but our guys here, Mr. Dale J. Gordon and Rob,
Yeah.
They are
What up?
they're loud and they're at a perfect
Okay.
volume.
All right, I'll try and be a little louder, guys, trying to keep up with you.
Hello, Timothy.
What's
Hey,
up?
how are you?
This
Hey.
works.
Dale.
This is
Hi,
perfect.
Dale.
Tim, it sounds
Hi.
a lot better now. This is perfect. So what conclusion did you come to?
Okay, well, I mean, Gordon, he's done a lot of research on Shakespeare, and I gather he sees it as a joint effort. I do as well. So it'll be interesting to hear his views. It looks like Francis Bacon and Edward de Vere, the Earl of Oxford, were the Queen's illegitimate children. She had 3 at least, and their identities were Francis Bacon, Edward de Vere, the Earl of Oxford, and Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex.
I'm completely
yeah.
lost. So who are these? Who are these?
Don't be lost. Don't be lost.
Is it all going to come together in a second?
Yeah, it'll come together. The Queen, Elizabeth, was often referred to as the Virgin Queen, but if you go to sirbacon.org, you can see her wearing a maternity dress, and you can see engravings of her with her children. And so she did have illegitimate children. And since it would have been something of a political and social scandal for her to acknowledge them as her issue, she farmed them out as changeling children to Lord and Lady Bacon in the case of Francis, and the 16th Earl of Oxford in the case of young Edward.
What is changeling?
And changeling means changing the child's home identity or family identity, and to basically have them adopted by another family and taking on that family name and identity.
So Queen Elizabeth had 3 illegitimate children and then gave them away.
Essentially, they remained wards of the crown, which means that they received a generous fund to support them, and they received the best education you could buy for money, and basically had all the privileges of the highest ranks of aristocracy, but they just couldn't be acknowledged publicly as her concealed princes. Yeah.
So she saw them, and would she spend time with them?
Yep, certainly so. She was not always on the same page. They didn't always get along. But there was a relationship throughout their lives until she died in 1603. And then things became more complicated because of King James VI of Scotland becoming King James I of England and ascending the throne. And the Earl of Oxford was exiled at that point. There's a penal island off the coast of Essex County, off the coast of Colchester, and he was exiled to that island because King James found him to be a threat to the throne because of his true royal pedigree and the fact that he had a better claim to the throne in essence. And so he made a deal with him that he would fake his death. They staged his death and held several Shakespeare plays there to commemorate his supposed death. And then he went into exile and was allowed to continue his writing in exile and lived in a cottage with a servant on the Isle of Mersey, which has been traditionally used as a penal island in England for hundreds of years. It's surrounded by a poison bog, and it's basically impossible to get off the island safely without, suffering some
penile exile dysfunction.
Yes.
Penile exile dysfunction.
Wow.
Timothy, may I ask a quick question?
Sure.
What I'm really interested in is the idea that Shakespeare, the name, is actually a group of, 10 or 20 different people that would resemble something like our Saturday Night Live or any other sketch comedy or collection of writers. And what the interest was to have several people writing this material and then putting it under one name. Was it just for the passing on of real estate, or was there a political or religious agenda involved?
So you're saying Shakespeare is not one man?
Yeah, he is saying that apparently, and that would be a good, good view.
But you don't believe that? You think it's one guy?
No, I didn't say that.
You didn't say that. You kind of.
That's his view, and it's a correct view in my view.
It's not. It's not mine. It's something that Chris and I had talked about.
Right. So it's more than one guy, this Shakespeare.
It's a popularly held view, and it's one that deserves respect. It's a good view. I agree. So Francis Bacon and Edward de Vere and Ben Jonson and Christopher Marlowe were all Freemasons. They all belonged to the Grand Lodge of England, which is the highest, most esteemed Freemason lodge in the world. And Francis Bacon was also the Grand Master of the Rosicrucian Society. So what you had was a secret society connection that linked them all. And so Shakespeare actually comes from Pallas Athena, who is the goddess of Greek drama. So naturally, to use it as a pen name would be sensible, given that Pallas Athena, who was the spear shaker, who always shook her spear at the twin serpents of ignorance and vice. She was the goddess of Greek drama. Consequently, it would only make sense that they would name themselves in terms of pen name pseudonymous authorship after the goddess of drama herself. And by enlightening the masses with drama, she chased away the serpent of ignorance and vice. That's what happens when you're enlightened. It makes you less ignorant, and it makes you less subject to low-minded, base behavior.
And one other question, was the Shakespeare material, was it available to all classes as soon as it was published, or was it something that you had to go see performed, or that you had to go have read to you because not everyone could read and write?
I think you have to look at the span of the period instead of just seeing it as all one uniform and consistent play on words. I mean, at the beginning, Comedy of Errors was staged in Gray's Inn, which was one of the elite inns of court, of which there were 5, and it was the legal societies where aristocratic men were educated in the law. And in the dining hall of Gray's Inn, they staged a Comedy of Errors for the first time. Now, there's no one that would have been let in the door unless they were a noble or a person of the aristocratic pedigree.
Right.
They were snobs, that's for sure. And England continues to be a very snobby land with class distinctions. I lived there for 5 years, so I can vouch for that.
Shots fired.
Damn.
Wait, does the model macaroon live in England? Our apologies. I think she disagree. Now, look, if she's a fan of this show, she can't be snooty, snobby.
So a Comedy of Errors.
She's not snobby. She's cool.
Let me just tell you that a Comedy of Errors
She
was
rocks,
about
Lynn.
two twins, and they looked alike, and so it caused some confusion, right? So when you look at William Shakespeare and Will Shakespeare, the guy that was the front man that pretended to be the author, the guy from Stratford upon Avon who was the son of a glove maker and who was illiterate and who acted in the plays but couldn't write a line of them because he was illiterate. That guy posed as the front man and took credit for the plays and got a substantial annual annuity payment that allowed him to live in the most palatial manor house in all of Stratford.
That guy with the pointy nose and the weird shirt and the long hair?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the one. The guy, the baldy, the fat guy.
He's fat?
Falstaff.
That's mind-blowing. I've seen that picture for years. I had no idea.
What's his name?
Yeah,
what's his name? What's that guy's name?
His name is Will Shakespeare. Yeah.
Shocksburg.
Yeah. No, Shakespeare. Yeah.
Shotsburg.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot like William.
Yeah, I mean
William Shatner.
The similarity in the name is where you get the joke in a Comedy of Errors, because it's like two twins that look alike, only it causes confusion with the audience because they don't know which.
Somebody winding their watch.
It's just confusing. Like what they're doing is confusing. I guess it's made to be confusing, huh?
Indeed,
You're confused.
Confuse them.
So wait, now, but was it obvious at that time that was everybody in on this joke that Shakespeare is just a group of people, and then they put this comedy funny fat man up there named William Shakespeare, and he's like, I'm William Shakespeare, and we're gonna do this play. Doop 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 doop.
Yeah, it was an inside joke, for sure, and those that were privy to the joke found it pretty funny, for sure. At the beginning of Taming of the Shrew, you have this drunk guy.
Hey, for those, I just want to say this, because I don't know much about Shakespeare, but I do want to tell everybody, when he refers to Taming of the Shrew, you may know it, there was a remake, a Hollywood film, that remade this adapted version of Taming of the Shrew called 10 Things I Hate About You. Just so everybody knows.
Have you seen that movie, Timothy?
Pleasure, yeah. I know a girl in that movie.
Oh, you know a girl in that movie? Who?
Yeah, she was a makeup artist on it. I went to film school with her in San Francisco. You can see her at the beginning riding in a Jeep, and she's pretty and blonde.
Oh, I'll keep a lookout for her.
That makes me special. Now you're special because you know. Goodbye.
Yeah, you're related to Shakespeare.
Tim, did you see that movie?
Haven't seen that one, no. Sounds like it's pretty fun, though.
Is there any you haven't seen it? You should check it out. It's a good little teen comedy.
You probably would like it, knowing that it's an adaptation of.
Hey, guess what it's
Taming.
about?
Yeah, sure.
Guess what it's about? It's
Okay, go on.
about this girl who can't date because her father won't let her, and her older sister doesn't want to date. And he says, "I'll let you date when she dates." And then the boyfriend of the younger sister, who wants to take her on a date, has to figure out how to get the older sister to go on a date. And so he pays some guy.
Cool. Sounds
Did you already know that plot?
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Who's winding their watch? Jake, is that
Dale,
you?
we don't got time for this.
All right. Now, is there any evidence,
It's a bass string.
like you said of, like, is there any evidence in the paper of people being inside, like, in on this joke, like little hints and clues published anywhere about this Shocksburg and this company?
Yeah. Yeah, news for sure, yeah.
What?
Their jokes weren't very good. There's nothing funny about it. What, they're just like sitting back and be like, oh, ho, 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 ho. People think that it's one guy.
Very funny. Yes. It's very good. Yes.
They probably did leave all types of clues, though. Like those Masons love to do that, right?
What was the
That's right.
motivation?
What type of clues did they leave?
Well, for example, in Romeo and Juliet, the balcony scene, Romeo actually says, "By a name I cannot tell thee who I am." And Juliet at one point says, "What's in a name? That which is called a rose by any other name would smell it sweet." So Romeo would, if he were not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owns without the title. The rose, the red rose, is the symbol of the Tudor family. And though the author could not bear the name of the rose, he still smells as sweet because he's got the royal bloodline and the royal pedigree of the Tudor family. So it's coded language, and it actually, throughout the plays, you get all kinds of clues as to the identity of the authorship. The sonnet poems have a poem that's actually written by Ben Jonson, in which he looks at the engraving above, which was done by a Dutch engraver, and it's basically a mask, kind of a caricature of someone, and he actually asks a series of questions. Is this Shakespeare, the soul of the age? Question mark. The man that everyone believes is the guy, he's asking a series of questions beneath the engraving, which calls into question the legitimacy of the image and who it's really supposed to represent.
That's crazy that they just put it right in your face. Do people know about this? Or people?
A lot of people do, yeah. But
when you Google it, it's like Shakespeare was a guy that lived here and there, and it doesn't,
They don't teach this in high school.
Yeah.
He died on his birthday.
In fact,
he died on his birthday, yeah.
That's it. That's Will Shakespeare is claimed to have died on his birthday. Yeah, right. The thing is, that,
we were taught the Olivia Hussey fucking version in high school. That's some bullshit. Why not take us to see a play?
Yeah.
Or at least the Baz Luhrmann version. That's much better, in my opinion.
Okay, interesting.
What do you prefer of those films? Are you a West Side Story kind of guy?
No, I don't prefer the modern adaptations. I mean, everyone has their right to create in the way that they like, but it's not my thing. I prefer the old version,
So, Timothy...
Is there an engine running over there? Okay.
Yeah.
Does the group of people writing, as opposed to it being one guy, William Shakespeare, does this change the effect of the passing down of the real estate of all of the writings?
Whoa.
And if so, because it's intellectual property. It was just like a song. If it's written by multiple people, when it gets passed on, when the authors die, it has to go somewhere. It can't just
Well, you're talking about thank you, the good question. That you're talking about a propaganda ministry, right? So it was called the Honorable Order of the Knights of the Helmet. Those who joined the order had to kiss the kind of mock helmet of Pallas Athena. She wore the helmet of invisibility, so that when she drew the visor down over her face, she became invisible. So the men that decided to join this propaganda ministry of the British Crown were actually working for Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Hold on, so you're saying that this is propaganda? Shakespeare was propaganda?
Yes, it exactly is, yes.
Wow.
It is. Yes, it is.
Exclusive.
From by the Freemasons?
Well, in essence, yeah, you're talking about secret societies or secret guilds which had connections with the aristocracy, actually founding a secret order which would write propaganda plays for the ministry of the crown. And so they were actually members of this secret order. They were called the Honorable Order of the Knights of the Helmet. They kissed the helmet of Pallas and put it on their heads, and from that moment forward they became known as the Invisibles. They were supposed to write under pen names or anonymously and take absolutely no credit for their work.
Oh.
For what end?
For propaganda purposes, of course.
What kind of?
What was the motivation, though, at that time? What did each play have its own reason?
Yes. They could lampoon any member of the court that they felt deserved censure. They could lampoon and lambaste any figure of the foreign courts that they felt needed to be put in their place. They could create plays that would seek the ascendancy and glory of the English nation and basically put it on a pedestal and make its history more glorified than it actually was.
Well,
it's just rich people having fun. It was rich people having fun, which I don't like. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Well, I don't think that Francis Bacon or Edward de Vere could be called rich. They put all of their money into their artistic endeavors, and they lived like paupers for the most part, and both died in poverty. So I don't think you could call them a bunch of rich guys in that sense. Christopher Marlowe, as you know, died in a town.
Marlowe's coming! Hey, Marlowe's coming! Marlowe's coming!
Better be Marlowe in there.
You know, Marlowe. Yes. Hey, so as an example, the famous one, Romeo and Juliet, like that everybody knows. What was the propaganda there? Like, who were the Montagues and the Capulets representing?
Very good question. Actually, the Earl of Oxford had an affair with the Queen's handmaiden. So the woman that actually put on her corset and her bra and the rest of her gear in the morning, basically. So that would be a grave insult to Her Majesty to actually be doinking her maid, right? So she'd be pretty pissed off. So she discovered that not only was he doinking her maid, but that he made her pregnant.
Doink.
So they were both put in the Tower of London to Doink. Punish them for their doinking. And so what happened was, while he was in the tower, he penned Romeo and Juliet to get back at the Queen.
Guys, come on. I'm trying to pay attention to this.
So in the balcony scene, Romeo says, he jests at scars that never felt a wound, but soft, what light from yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, that is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. In essence, he's referring to the maid and the fact that she's more fair than the Queen, and that she shouldn't even wear the vestal livery which all servants of the Queen wear, but should actually cast it off or throw it away.
So Lady Capulet, right? The mom, Juliet's mom, is that who you're referring to?
No, I'm talking about the fact that the play is codedly insulting the queen.
I know, but who represents the queen?
Well, who represents the queen? He's referring to the moon in metaphoric language, right? And how the sun is more fair than the moon.
Okay,
but
so there's
in
not...
essence, it's a reference to Queen Elizabeth. It's clear because he refers to the maid, the very maid that he's having an affair with, right?
This sounds pretty cryptic. Oh, the guy says in the line that the maid, like, he straight up says that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. He's making a direct reference to the maid, yeah.
And you're saying the people who wrote this were her illegitimate children?
I'm saying Francis Bacon and Edward de Vere definitely were, yes. And
wow.
So they were actually ruling the roost of this secret writing guild. They were telling Marlowe what to write.
Marlowe's coming!
Yeah.
Marlowe!
They were telling Ben Jonson what to write, and they were writing. And sometimes Marlowe would finish a play that was unfinished by Edward de Vere. Now, the poet genius that really is responsible for the beautiful poetic verse in the plays is definitely Edward de Vere, the Earl of Oxford, no question about that.
Hey, what's your favorite? What?
You know that, do you know that he graduated from Cambridge University when he was 14, and then went to law school and graduated from Cambridge University Law School at 17 or something, and it's just astounding. He, knew so many languages. He was fluent in probably 8 languages, and the guy was amazing because at the age of 12 he translated Ovid, the Latin poet, work known as the Metamorphoses, and translated it. And William Golding, his tutor, took credit for the translation, but it was the boy genius.
What the fuck?
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That makes me sick.
Well, it does.
Hey, we're talking about, who were we talking about again? Francis Bacon?
De Vere,
No,
right?
Oh, de Vere.
Edward de Vere, yeah.
De Vere.
So he's a genius, and then he's got other people taking the credit.
Well, in one of his poems that was authored under his own name when he was a young man, he said, "The masons that build the lordly halls dwell not in them. They are for higher degree." So, yeah, there you go. I mean, he's basically talking about how a lot of people don't get credit for their work.
Now, what is this? I really want to hear your answer to this question. You know what? Let's do a quick round relay here. John, quickly, what is your favorite William Shakespeare play? Quickly.
I don't have one. I just go with a Romeo and Juliet.
Jake.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Okay. Dale.
Merchants of Venice.
Oh, Rob.
Macbeth.
Yeah. Okay, mine is, I've never seen the play, but I love that movie, O. I think it's fucking amazing. So I have to go with Othello, even though I've never seen it.
Cool.
Is that Shakespeare, Othello?
I think so, right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Is To Kill a Mockingbird Shakespeare?
Yes.
Okay.
It makes me regard the writing so much different now because now, now I'm thinking about, 12. How many guys would you say loosely? 12? 12 guys sitting around a table like, what's the next line, dude? And the other guy's like, how about, oh, wherewith thou stand something,
I doinketh thou maid.
I doinketh thou maid. But,
I think probably, in my estimation, it was 4 guys.
oh, that's it. Okay, I pictured him.
And one of them was Bacon.
Yep.
Yeah.
He wrote 3 of the plays.
Okay.
Did he write Lear, do you think?
No, Edward de Vere wrote it because it's totally autobiographical.
And quick little nugget here.
Wow.
Is there kind of a timeline as far as publishing goes that you can see as a historian looking back? What was how prolific were they for their time? When were they rolling out the next one? When was the sequel?
Okay, well, we're talking about a period from around 1560 or thereabouts up until 1611. And so Edward de Vere was supposed to be dead in 1604, the year after his mother died, and clearly this isn't the case because The Tempest, being the last play, is definitely his work. And he, in the epilogue to The Tempest, is begging the king, not the queen, the king, to let him return from his island prison.
Oh.
He wants out. He wants out of the helmet, but he wants to live a life.
No, he wants to get off that frigging penal island that he was exiled to by the king, right? He's saying, let me come home. Yeah.
Have you seen Teller's The Tempest?
No.
Oh, man.
Is it good, man?
I've
Is
never,
it nice?
no, I have never seen it, man, but it sounds amazing. Because since Teller, Penn and Teller, he's able to, do all the old school fashioned stage magic,
Yeah.
And, yeah, he can do crazy, crazy shit. And,
yeah, that sounds amazing, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
but it all takes place inside of a circus tent.
I gotta check this out.
Yeah, you're closed in on this tent, it's temperature controlled, and all the music is supplied by kind of a gypsy-like band on the back of a trailer, and they only play Tom Waits songs for the entire play.
Wow. Hey, this sounds amazing.
That's what I'm saying. I gotta see this fucking thing.
Yeah. I'd like to see it myself, yeah.
So what is your favorite work by Shakespeare?
Hamlet?
Why?
Well, because it's a brilliant effort at entrapment of people who have committed a homicide. So basically, Queen Elizabeth wanted Robert Dudley, the Earl of Leicester, who is Francis Bacon's father. She wanted him to become her consort. She wanted to marry him, and so there was a little problem. He was married already. So they whacked his wife, Amy Robsart, by sending 2 henchmen to bump her off. And so she was tossed down the stairs at her palatial manor home, and they broke her neck. And so to bring to attention the fact that the Queen had, been responsible, and her lover, Robert Dudley, had been responsible for this murder, basically, The Mousetrap, which is a play within the play, staged by Prince Hamlet.
Come on, guys. No token during the show.
Is meant to draw shame to Queen Gertrude and King Claudius for the royal murder of the king, King Hamlet, right? So basically, something rotten in Denmark is actually
something rotten in Denmark.
Something rotten in the English court, right? So you can't cast aspersions directly on your own land because that's a quick way to be arrested and hung for treason. So you cast the play in a foreign court and indirectly draw attention to events in your own land. Now, if you look at old Fortinbras and young Fortinbras, who are supposed to take control of the court of Denmark.
40.
This is a reference.
Sean Fortinbras?
This is a reference to the Mary Queen of Scots and her son King James VI, because if you look at Denmark, what is due north of Denmark is Norway. And these 2 monarchs that were in Norway are meant to represent the Queen of Scots and her son King James, or Prince James at this point, in Scotland, who are destined to take control of the English crown because officially the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth I, doesn't have any heir to the throne.
What are your thoughts on Hamlet 2, the musical?
Don't know it.
Let's check that out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's a pretty.
What are your thoughts on it?
I thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's one of those those teen underdog movies, but really, really, really stupid. But somehow it makes it work.
Okay, so it's entertaining.
Yeah, they build a time machine.
Okay. Huh.
And he goes back and he stops the crime.
Huh.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
But it's...
That's fascinating. That's to think of that. Hamlet,
Yeah.
and then now Hamlet 2, to go back
musical.
in time.
Well, this is like you have to. I can't think of anything to compare this to. This is not something you take seriously. The fact I think it's called Hamlet 2, the musical.
I know, but just on paper, that sounds
Look, Jesus is in it, John.
nice.
And he moonwalks on water, and he sings, rock me, rock me, rock me, sexy Jesus.
That's ridiculous.
It's Jesus moonwalking on water. Like, how much cooler can you get than that? Sexy Jesus.
Tim, when you keep talking about King James, what did that guy do to the Bible? Do you know anything about that? Did he, change it, screw it up, whatever?
Well, apparently Francis Bacon and his team of scholars were responsible for translating the King James version of the Bible.
These knuckleheads.
But there's supposed to be a lot of translation errors, but some people say that the King James version of the Bible that's on public display is not actually the original one. So it's a tampering of the original effort, some believe. And so who knows? Who knows?
Wow.
Because everything I read about the King James Bible said that there were, like, different departments, like different branches and, different groups in the government that he would send to work on each different section, They got a big team of people working on this thing.
That's interesting. That's very, very interesting because compartmentalizing intelligence work is one way of preventing the left hand from knowing what the right hand is up to.
Oh!
So oftentimes they try to compartmentalize these work efforts so that they don't see the big picture and they're only assigned their small little task and they don't understand what they're part of.
Yeah. So the King James Bible, if that's true, that sounds like some fucked up shit.
Yeah. What do you know about those Lollards?
So yeah, I mean it should be
Nothing. You know anything about those Lollards? Like King James supposedly would kill them because they had a real copy of the Bible or something.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the Catholic Church would get them shut down constantly. And they outlawed, there was, it was obviously the King James Bible was the legal text, religious text. Right?
Yep, I get you. Wow.
Check out the Lollards.
Yeah, Lollards, bro.
Okay.
Lollards. He also you got two other big things.
Oh yeah,
the Titanic and who was Gandhi working for. We gotta crack those nutshells, right?
Yeah. What?
Okay.
I don't know about this.
What was the real cause of the Titanic?
Yeah. What's the story on your Titanic? Suspicions.
Okay, it's a big story. It's probably good for another show sometime. But basically, my research and that of my friend, my colleague in the UK, his name is John Hamer. He wrote a book called RMS Olympic, Royal Mail Service Olympic. What he claims is that because Captain Smith is not what you would think, you'd think that to be the head commodore of a passenger liner fleet of ships would mean that you were a highly competent mariner and had earned your stripes through years of able seamanship. But if you look at his actual record, you can see that he was involved in so many shipping accidents, it's a wonder his shipping license, his mariner's license, wasn't revoked.
You're saying this guy was a putz?
Well, no, he wasn't a putz. He was being set up to do these by handlers because the White Star shipping line was actually owned by the Jesuit order of the Catholic Church.
And that's who's at the bottom of it, right? The Jesuits?
The Jesuits are actually behind all of these shipping accidents, and they use their White Star shipping fleet as a means of committing homicides and crimes at sea where there would be no witnesses. if you needed to get rid of people who were going to blow the whistle or had seen too much or knew too much, you just had a little accident staged at sea, and you could whack whoever you wanted and get rid of whoever you.
I heard a good joke about that. They said, "Boy, the sinking of the Titanic, that must have been a real miracle for all of the lobsters down in the kitchen."
That took me a long time to get. So you're saying that the crash of the Titanic was intentional?
I am.
That was a good job.
You have to keep in mind that J.P. Morgan was the Vatican banker. He was the one who put up most of the money for the construction of these ships, and the Titanic had a sister ship, the Olympic. They looked like Will Shakespeare and William Shakespeare, extremely a lot alike. You know, they were twin ships. So there was a reason that they made these ships look alike, and that is that if ever one of them suffered a mishap at sea and was going to be decommissioned due to some structural defect, they could swap ships and have it be given a clean bill of health in the shipping trials so that it could continue on in service. Meanwhile, they would stage an accident for the derelict ship and see it go to the bottom so that they could make an insurance claim, but it wouldn't be going to the bottom under its own colors. It would be, in a sense, flying under the banner of the other ship. Therefore, it would be given a clean bill of health, and the insurance companies wouldn't be looking askance at this. They would say, "Oh dear, there's been a mishap, another mishap."
What's some of the other evidence that points towards that? Because I don't know how substantial those two are. So this guy had a bunch of crashes beforehand, and then then the other one is that this
the Jesuits owned the whole thing.
That there was another boat that looked the same. That doesn't necessarily point to.
Well, you have to realize that back in those days, the early 20th century and then the 19th century, to commit insurance fraud by having this scheme hatched whereby a ship would sink and then they'd make an insurance claim on it and set the whole thing up by having twin ships. This was a common act of fraud committed by many shipping companies, so it's not an isolated case by any stretch. Now, as far as evidence goes, take a look at John Hamer's book, because he shows through several photographic dissolves that there are striking pieces of evidence from a documentary evidence standpoint to show that there was
what are those?
a ship.
Do you remember any of those?
Yeah, like for example, the number code on the propeller blade. It was not that of Titanic. So if you look also at Robert Ballard's photos from his exploration of the wreck, he found that the bulkhead design matched that of the Olympic and not that of the Titanic.
So the Olympic went down?
Yes.
Whoa. Exclusive.
And keep in mind the occult signatures here too, because there was a war between the gods, the Olympians and the Titans. On board the so-called Titanic was Lord John Astor, Benjamin Guggenheim, and Isidor Straus. All of these men were prominently connected to U.S. Congress, and they also were elite banking establishment people from New York, and they did not want the Federal Reserve Bank, which was founded in exactly the next year, 1913, to be inaugurated. They were doing their best to prevent the Federal Reserve Bank from being endorsed, so they campaigned strongly against it in Congress and opposed the Aldrich Bill, which was conceived by some elite bankers who convened a secret meeting off the state of Georgia coast in an island called Jekyll Island,
right,
where where they decided that they were going to create this bank, which would be owned by the Rothschilds. And since that day, of course,
I got a good question for you.
The Rothschilds, being a Jesuit family with Jesuit connections,
how deep does this go?
They have been trying to get control or exercise control over all of the central banks of the countries of our world, right? So once you control the central bank of a nation, like Rothschild himself said, one of the Rothschilds, once I get control of a nation's currency, I care not who makes the laws.
Oh. In other words, what?
In other words, I make the laws. I decide what the law is. I will determine the nation's fate.
That motherfucker. Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on building number 7?
Well, obviously Larry Silverstein and his business partner Frank Lohe took an insurance policy out just a few months before the attacks and had it insured against acts of terror because they knew what was coming down the pipe. And since he's on public record appearing on a radio show like yours and being asked the uncomfortable question, he said, well, there had been such a terrible loss of life, we decided to pull it, which basically means we brought it down by controlled demolition, which is an admission of guilt, because you cannot simply say, hey, buddies, you want to go over there and pull that building down? You have to plant the explosives. That takes a minimum of 2 weeks. Therefore, he is, guilty of mass murder. He's guilty of poisoning the population of New York with all kinds of chemical poisoning as a result of the, dust. He's responsible for genocide. He's responsible for crimes against humanity. He is a Zionist agent, probably Mossad agent. He is a criminal. That is all. There's nothing more that needs to be said. And why I get this constant bullshit from people about conspiracy theory when the facts are clear is beyond me. But there's so many cowards in this world that will refuse to face the truth, and they whimper and whine and complain about how I don't want to face these dark truths, these dark realities. Oh no, I don't want to hear from you again. Don't email me. Don't tell me this stuff. Oh, you're ruining my day. Well, wake up, people, because if you don't do something about it, you're going to be subjected to tyranny that will destroy your life in a way that you had never, ever imagined.
Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't have said it better, man. People need to wake up a little bit.
So there's documented proof that the people who own the building admitted to saying, yeah, we brought that down. We brought down World Trade Center building number 7 down on purpose. Like, they admitted that on record?
That guy, Larry Silverstein,
I've seen a video clip of that.
Yeah, I have listened to his taped, recorded voice, yeah.
Well, that's not a video. This is some interview of him talking about the buildings and this, that, and the other. And then there's the firemen, whatever, they heard a countdown for it to go down, right?
Yeah, well, they're admitting that they did that.
And you could see the building hop up and then collapse,
Like, how can you go and admit something like that? And then,
like what Tim said. According to Tim, it would take 2 weeks to plant explosives. Well, I don't know all the details or ins and outs here. All I know is that it wasn't hit by a plane. It looked weird to me. That was as far as my knowledge went. But now that they're actually admitting, because to me it was obvious by looking at it, yes, this thing went down the same way the other two did, but yet it wasn't hit by anything. Something weird's going on here. And
he I think he kind of slipped when he, quote, admitted it, like he's just in some candid type of interview where he's talking about the building itself. It just seemed like kind of he didn't really
slip.
That's kind of what it seemed like. But yeah, he totally says, yeah, we made a decision to pull it.
Dipshit.
Yeah. But no, who has heard of that? Not very many.
Yeah.
But more and more people. Yeah, that's the first thing on your website, shakespeare.com is 911 who done it.
I'll tell you that number 7 looks so weird to me. And it's like, and I'm not saying that the government did this or like, I don't know. All I know is it looks weird. And, number 7, I just want to know what exactly happened with that. Like all the details I can. But what made me stop liking Bill Maher is I was watching it a couple years ago or something, and somebody stood up and, yelled out, interrupted the show and said, what happened to building number 7? And he fucking went on a rant on this guy and tore him apart, and said that there's like what the story is true. Like whatever you're making up in your fucking head, you need to get over it. We were attacked by fucking terrorists, and
that's crazy, especially coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, I would expect him to, at least question it a little bit more.
That's just weird.
Yeah, I can understand what you're saying. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow.
So you try and tell people about this, and they get all pissed off, or they get all bummed out, Tim?
Well, more than that, it comes down to losing jobs. It comes down to being something like a nomad with a camel in a tent, going from place to place, job to job. I can't help it. I got to tell my truth, what I found out, and people often don't like it, and too bad. I mean,
so you talk politics and at work, and then you end up losing a job because of it.
Well, I'm a teacher, so it's about publishing and speaking and giving lectures and being, basically persecuted for it.
It'd be very, very hard to teach those like history books in the high school and the middle schools.
When was your first book published, Tim?
Not until I was 45, guys. I mean, Canada's supposed to be a democracy, but I got to tell you that the freedom of speech here is practically non-existent. I mean, even within my own family, I'm being censored. I had a cousin tell me not to send her any more of this type of literature because she doesn't want her world rocked. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, what kind of a world are we living in where you're censored by your own family? I mean...
That is interesting, man. I guess there are just some people that they literally just don't want to hear it. They know that you might know something about it, but they just don't want to hear it. They know that it's going to change their world. I mean, what do you do about that? I guess you just move on, right?
Well, I mean, it's going to mean that I sever all my contacts.
Or just keep talking about it. Don't send me that. Okay, and you keep sending it.
No,
they figure out how to work email.
Man, they should see the emails we get.
Yeah.
What do you know about gang stalking?
Microchip implants, government stalking.
Yeah. Look, guys, I'm totally aware of what you...
No, what do you know about it? We done a few shows on it, like TIs and stuff, gang stalking. You guys, you know about that stuff? You down? You hip?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I seen some of it myself. I know what you're talking about, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What have you seen?
Well, I've been followed. I've been had agents following me. I've had calls. I've had threatening letters. I've had all kinds of stuff happen to me.
Would you say that the gang stalking, most of the time, are they really individuals that are being targeted, or is there just a big broad signal that they blow out there, and some people are more susceptible to it than others?
He's saying that it happens to him.
Oh.
It did happen to me, yes, it did. I've had students come into my class that were clearly sent and making an effort to be as disruptive as possible in the hope that they could rally the class opinion against me so that a complaint would carry weight and I would lose my job. I've had some agents following me. I had this one Chinese or Asian agent sitting across from me with a GPS and staring at me while I was working on a screenplay with the producer. And I looked at him and I said, buddy, is there a problem? Can I help you? And he said, I look at you and I think about my life. And he had been there for like 3 hours. We stayed for another half hour and then went to get a bite for lunch. And I said, wait here, to my producer. And I went back to see if Buddy was still there. And he was gone. Now, how can you be there for 6 hours and not move, and then suddenly when we go, you go? I mean, what? So, yeah, and then he's following my buddy in a black van afterwards, or if it wasn't him, then it was someone, and that's kind of like, and then every day at my old house, there'd be a white van parked outside my house, and very often they'd pull away as I came out, almost as if to pointedly say, yeah, we're watching you. What are you going to do about it, Jack?
Right.
Was there an increase in that after you got published?
Well, one day I had my manuscripts, which I had given to a girlfriend. She ended up shipping some boxes over, and this is from South Korea. And my one box didn't arrive, and I said, well, what box is that, hon? And she says, well, the box with your manuscripts in it. And I said, what? What did you print? What did you print my manuscripts for? You had it on a USB. What the hell would you do that for? And she said, I don't know. I like them, and I like to read things on paper. And I said, well, don't do something that stupid again. So one day I got this call from an agent, obviously, and he said, is this Tim Watson? I said, yeah. He said, you shouldn't have written that book. What book? The book about Korea. Basically, this is an autobiographical book, right? And I said, who is this? And he says, I think at that point he just hung up, you know?
Right. You shouldn't have read that book. Click. That's enough.
Yeah.
24/7 of that would drive someone nuts.
And you know what? This producer that I was working with that I had just told you about, he and I worked together for a few months, and every time we came to his apartment, before he even put the key in the door, the phone would ring. One day we got in there and the phone was still ringing. He picks up the phone, passes it to me, and he says, is 7C there? Well, the name of my novel, the one that the agent referred to, is Sailing the Seven Seas.
It's the number. It's the letter C.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's available on Shakespeare.com.
Right. And so it stands for something
what are the 7 C's?
To sail the 7 seas is something that Tiger Ray McKendrick told me about, and he was Judy Garland's agent. You know, guys, you know Judy Garland, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Well, John, John just shrugged. John, you don't know who Judy Garland is?
A little bit.
A little bit.
I know the name for sure. I know that it's
you do or you don't.
I think it might be a little bit before my time.
Name a role.
Wizard of Oz, John. The Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Somewhere over the rainbow, John. Somewhere over the rainbow.
I did not watch that movie.
Yeah, that's the one. So,
Judy Garland. She was doing what now?
Well, like her agent, Tiger Ray McKendrick, was a British guy, right?
He told you about the 7 C's.
Yeah, and I met him in Toronto, and he said, do you know how to sail the 7 seas? I said, no. And he goes, well, first you need confidence, then you'll have courage, then you'll take calculated chances, then you'll become a champion, a conqueror, and hopefully a Caesar. And I said, okay, thanks. Wow. That's a formula for success. So, yeah.
I enjoy that.
Yeah, it's kind of cute.
So that was your book, and this guy said, don't write it. Check.
Yeah, basically there's, information in the book that the establishment wouldn't like too much.
And, I wouldn't.
Would you put it out anyway?
I did publish it, but I'm revising it. I'm adding more. So I want to add some chapters. So I pulled it, and I'm going to reissue it. In fact, I've just started up a film company, and I'm planning to open a book publishing division. So I'm probably going to end up publishing my own books.
Nice. That's the way to go.
You know what, Tim?
You should publish Dale's book.
We can talk.
I would like for you to set up a show in the future where we all talk, you and me and John and Jake and Dale and Rob there and our friend Capitano Tones.
Oh,
Anthony Cummings.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, we had this.
You got to come back on with the Tones.
We had this friend who is he's probably around your age, maybe a little older, and he's a retired pirate. He's Italian.
Yeah.
And he's and he was a pirate, a long time ago, and he finally retired. And this guy says that he has.
He's an honest to goodness pirate, though. Like no joke.
He's seen clones on islands.
Yeah.
Yeah, something. Yeah, and he was best friends with the president of what country was that?
I forget. It's in the blog post.
Yeah, and
very interesting.
He had interactions with CIA agents, and according to him, the Mormons are heavily involved with the CIA, at least where he was.
Yeah, cloning people. Does that ring any bells?
Yeah, then there were clones. And
I have. Don't know too much about it, but Zbigniew Brzezinski comes to mind immediately, who's a high-ranking official within the CIA as being an example of a clone. Apparently, he is a clone.
Oh, yeah, well, that's kind of what he was saying. He said he saw an island full of these clones coming out.
Wow.
He's seen a lot of things,
guys,
man. He's been around. He's seen a lot of things.
Probably seen more than me, and I've seen my
me
share.
too. We live in Indiana. I see a few things.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
Yeah, we see fire and rain here.
But
this guy, yeah, you guys would probably blow each other's minds with some stuff.
I'd like to hear this wealth of information shared. You know, like you guys could fill in each other's gaps.
Sounds good, guys. I'd be honored. That sounds like a lot of fun for a start, and sounds like it could be a real useful thing for people to hear all this stuff, right? So yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
I want to say that on what you're talking about, one day I was at a subway station here in Toronto, and this guy came walking towards me, and honest to God, man, it was the weirdest thing. He was built like a football lineman. He was big. He must have been about 6'6", and built like a brick shithouse. I mean, he was friggin' huge, man. He was just huge. And he came towards me with these small pinpoint size irises. Now, like, I've heard of pinpoint size, the pupils being pinpoint size, right? I mean, that makes sense. But these irises of his were like so small. I've never seen anyone with irises that small. And they were darting around in his eyeballs like ping pong balls. I mean, they were just flying around, and I thought, okay, this dude. I mean, I know normal and I know not normal, and this is not normal. Like, what is this guy? I mean, he's not humanoid.
What was he
not
doing?
A human.
His eyes were darting around his head, and
was he coming at you?
It's coming at him.
Was he stealing tires?
He was completely unthreatening. Like, it wasn't like he posed any kind of threat to me whatsoever or anyone else. But it was just like, is this an experiment of the intelligence services to see how the public react to one of our clones or what? It was just, there's no way that was a normal human being. I don't care if he was sick. I don't care if he had some typhoid or whatever. Your eyes don't look like
I think he was on PCP.
Did you talk to him? Did you approach him?
Inbreeding does that. Inbreeding does that sometimes. So, yeah, sure.
Two lazy eyes.
Have you seen that, Dale?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Anyway, it was pretty weird. And I don't know. It struck me as this guy ain't...
Yeah, I mean, there's something weird going on there.
Yeah.
Dale asked something a little bit ago that I want to bring back up just real quick. He said something about, does, with this gang stalking and stuff like that, is it kind of a signal that just goes out to everybody? We get blasted with it, and then some people are more susceptible to it, or does it not work that way?
Yeah, do you think that it's like specifically for people that are active in certain arenas, or
do they only target certain people, or is it just like a mass just blast to see who they can get?
Because I heard that they reverse engineered these radio towers from, what was it, that they put up during the beginning of the Cold War as early as the 50s, and that they kind of sat dormant, and then those were the towers that were used to push the signals.
Okay, I don't know whether that's the case. I mean, it sounds very interesting as a theory. But as for gang stalking, you asked the question, I'll try to answer it. I believe they do target people that are considered some form of threat to the powers that be, and so they harass them to no end and basically try to drive them nuts. Now, there's certain people that have fortitude, and there's certain people that have a kind of left-brained, reasoned approach and don't get emotionally upset when people cause them grief and harass them. Me, I'm a right-brained, get the frig out of my way, I've got a tempestuous temper, I'll go ape shit on you. That's me. But there's some people that can take that stuff and don't get bent out of shape, and they just take it in their stride and they go on, and it doesn't really affect them, and blah blah blah. I'm not one of them, man. I raise my fist at God and say, what the fuck are you doing, man? Why are you putting me through so much grief? Like, put an end to this shit. I can't take it, you know? So, you know, so I don't know. We're all built differently, right? We all... That's
what I kind of heard. I heard either, like, if you started looking up conspiracy stuff all over the internet, you would be targeted, and then signals would be sent directly to you, and you would hear people cussing you all night in your sleep inside your head.
Now,
that
who
would
told
drive,
you?
that, now that would,
now, who told
that would
you
drive
that?
you nuts.
V2K
But then
voice
the other theory,
Who
the other
told you
theory
that?
is,
Who
hold
said
on,
that?
I'm getting there, God damn it. The other theory is that the government and the powers that be blow this kind of dog whistle that only certain people can hear, maybe of a certain intellect, who are capable of thinking outside of the box to even conceive of the terrible things that they've plotted, planned, and achieved over the last century. And those people hear that dog whistle, and it drives them nuts. And it's just because they're awake, kind of.
Yeah.
And
I don't
they want
know.
them dead.
Oh, who told me that? Who told me that? Fox News. Thank you.
Well,
Really?
Have you heard, guys? Have you heard of voice to skull
Yeah.
programming?
V2K.
V2K, yeah. A few of the targeted individuals we've talked to kind of told us about that and how that affects them. The one guy said they were using it while we were talking to him. They said that they were telling him, "You're a dead motherfucker."
You said dead ass motherfucker.
While we were talking to him, yeah.
We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you.
Well, you know, it's a broad sweep. I mean, they've got every game in town, and they're playing us all for fools. I mean, I'm working on a book called All the World Staged, and You and I Are Merely Played, and
Wow, nice.
That's a Rush lyric.
and
No,
it's
no, no.
just it's true, man. We're constantly subject to all of their game playing, and they're trying every game out on us. I mean, you look at these games that the gaming people come up with, and they're basically doing it in the intelligence community. Only we're the playing pieces, and they're the ones that are basically messing with us and playing with.
That's crazy, because last night after we got done with this claymation shoot and we're just exhausted and delirious, we were like, man, we think we're claymating, but there's people claymating us.
That's profound.
And we looked up at the light, we looked up the sky, and we're like, oh, nice choice of lighting, guys. Nice touch. Nice touch.
Yeah.
You're a real asshole, Dale. You know that?
Yeah, on that note,
You can eat my yucky asshole out. Oh, hold on, it's not ready yet.
The sky is
There,
a
now it's
beautiful
ready.
gift. It's not somebody's clay.
all right, Tim. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Thank you for.
We gotta do that pirate thing, though, right?
Yeah, we'll be in touch with you on that.
Pooped on the floor.
Hello.
Thanks a lot, guys. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it, and do take care and have more fun.
Did your dog poop
Everybody go to. Nobody has a dog. Everybody go to shakespeare.com for more information, books, all that goodness. Lots of stuff on there. Anywhere else you want people to go, Tim?
Well, we got a Freedom Talk radio network in the UK, and I haven't been doing too many shows with them lately, but I would
That
like
guy,
to.
I sent that guy an email, and he told me to fuck off. That Freeman guy, that guy that changed his name to Freeman. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
He's one
this is in UK. This is Freedom Talk Radio Network. I hope to God they didn't tell you to screw
I
off.
think it's because we're American.
No, who was that? Who's that libertarian radio group? Is that Freedom Talk Radio?
I don't know. Freeman
I
Fly.
think they must be different folks. This is a activist site that's trying to rescue children or victims of child trafficking and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they mainly do.
How do we check that
my-
one out?
Yeah, just Google it. Freedom Talk Radio Network UK. And you should be able to find it.
That's some dark shit. You know, we've got a girl who wants to come on the show that we could book who was a what do they call that? she was trafficked. She was a human and she was trafficked. And there was lots of rape and sex involved and, held on. Yeah.
She made it.
Yeah, but she made it out.
Satanic ritual abuse.
And I don't know if I could, if I want to speak to her,
Yeah, it's even weird to even bring it up,
Yeah, I feel weird asking a woman about her period, let alone her rape.
Yeah.
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 All right.
That'll be one for the books.
Pretty heavy, yeah.
The crime books.
Yeah, well,
all right.
I'm right. Yeah. Okay, guys. I'll let you know. You got things to do.
Nice talk.
Yeah, we got 9:30. That's the block.
We got to end the show.
Good talk.
It's not you, it's us, Tim.
And a good time.
Okay.
We talked to you so long that we gotta go.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks, guys.
All right, bye.
Thanks, Tim. Everybody check out shakespeare.com and look for Tim and the pirate on the
Freedom
further
Talk.
episode.
Oh, yeah, that's what we were trying to plug. We got off on a tangent there. Freedom Talk Radio.
Freedom Talk Radio. UK.
Okay, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks. All right, bye, Tim.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye. Oh, you hung up on him? I wanted to keep that bye going forever. I think that would have gone on for a while if we kept saying bye to each other.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Or
Huh?
okay.
I don't know. Are we ending? Yeah. How'd that go for you, Dale? Thanks for joining with us and sitting in, Rob.
We had fun. We thought we were being pretty respectful by just kind of kicking back, listening to what the guy had to say, only chiming in with like interesting topics,
Mostly random.
Except for that bass string.
Bass string.
I don't know what you're talking about. We were winding a watch.
We heard that.
All right. Where do people go? Where do people go? Guys, what do you do? Where do you want people to go?
Church. No, I'm kidding.
Just go to the church.
Got any websites?
Where they got to go for you, Dale?
You go on the internet and you put my name in and stuff comes up.
Your name is Dale J. Gordon.
That's it.
And you're not the woman who plays the drum in New York.
I don't believe so.
That's Dale Gordon.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah. There's a Dale Gordon, Dale.
Yeah, she's been on our show.
She plays the drum.
That was my father's name.
This is a lady. She plays the drum.
Well, that's cool. She was on the show.
Yeah. Drum therapy.
Drum therapy.
Yeah, Dale Gordon.
Therapy.
You can look my stuff up, and then, Rob, you can look him up at...
Oh, yeah. I'm still working on getting the final mixes and masters and stuff, but you can look up my stuff on Bandcamp. Just look up Teal Audio and the Teal Audio Project. Yeah, if you want some crazy new kind of music.
What we do.
Hey,
that's what we want.
I didn't get a chance to listen to it last night. I was going to.
You should. It's really good. I have given it a couple listens myself.
Thanks.
Then claymation stuff, it'd be ready in maybe a month.
That sounds exciting, you guys. It sounds like Rob is really doing a good thing with you there, Dale. I'm excited to see.
And Hunter.
The claymation video project.
We'll get Hunter. Yeah. Hunter Andrews is a
you want to look him up too?
Hunter.
He's a photographer known as Ladwar, and he's had a couple installations here in Nashville so far. So he's a great photographer.
Do you guys want us to run around with signs that say the Chris Briggs Show down in Nashville? Do you know what your listeners are looking like down here?
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, always. Everybody should do that.
Can you send me a sign or make me a sticker?
You said you're just going to run around.
Yeah. Hey,
I can do that.
We got $5. What can we get for $5? Can we get some stickers for $5, John?
I'm not sure. We can look.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us. We'll be back anytime. Sure.
We got to go now.
Rob Stewart, Dale J. Gordon.
Out. All right.
That went pretty well.
I like those guys.
Good group of guys there.
Yeah.
Jake.
Yeah.
That Tim's a passionate man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got it. He really unloaded on some folks there.
Yeah. On that note, this is the Chris Briggs Show you've been listening to. If you'd like to hear past episodes, go to chrisbriggshow.com. There's a whole bunch of them. And, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I don't have any other place to tell you to go. What do you think? Facebook, like, Twitter, like, talk, tweets, and
the music's playing, but I don't hear it.
oh, I turned it off. And I would like to thank Darren Snyder from Indian Tune. I turned it off I manually hung up on my end on Dale.
Right, yeah, and it's tied
Just
to
in
the
case.
music too.
Hey, stop the
forgot.
music.
Well, stop the music.
Pissed off at someone.
Hey, Jake.
Oh! Nice.
Jake, do you have a stupid person of the week?
The stupid lady following a fire truck. That was really... all these people pulled over, and here comes the fire truck, you know? And there's this minivan, like, tailgating the fire truck.
Why were they doing that?
Good question.
How many people they were tailgating? Like
Just
riding-
this one lady in a minivan. Like, she was right on the fire truck's ass.
No.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Unless you're in, like, Die Hard.
Do you think that possibly that, you know, because
Escort? I don't...
they do, yeah, an escort of sort,
I don't know where that's... Okay.
and they tell you not to follow it even if you.
Yeah.
But maybe there was a loved one in there that was injured because
Mate.
you know.
But it was a fire truck.
But all the firemen are trained as EMS,
Yeah.
so they're first responders. Yeah.
But still, it's like, what the fuck are you
I just
doing?
schooled you with that information.
Well, maybe
son.
it sounds dangerous, you know? Like, you
Yeah.
shouldn't do that. The fire truck
Well, you
might...
thought that.
you
So
know.
that pissed you off, Jake?
I thought she was,
Yeah, why did that bother you?
I don't know.
And that's fine that it did. That would bother me, too.
It's like, what the fuck is going on? I guess she didn't piss me off, but she really perplexed me.
It is kind of irritating to see someone just riding someone's ass, but then
Well-
the fire truck's ass, like, it's a bit...
Yeah, fire truck.
I guess it's anything that's weird when you're, you know, when you're driving. You're just like, why are you doing that? Why? Why is it? Why? But yeah, why are they doing that?
Jake, I think you might have overreacted on this one.
Maybe.
I think there was
Have you ever seen that,
I think
Chris?
there was something going on.
If it was an ambulance, maybe, but
Even
I
then,
just
if you are
don't
following
understand, like, what the...
it, how close were they?
Right there. Like, if I was tailgating someone, I would have been that close.
Maybe they were going to that person's house.
Still. Obey the traffic laws.
Oh, I wouldn't. I'd say fuck it. No one's fucking with me. The cop, when it comes down to it, the cop's not going to fuck. I would, you know, do you think that if a cop saw you doing that, he would? Because what would happen is you'd end up going to the same scene. So if the cop was behind you, you know, like with lights on, you just think he was a part of your caravan.
That's true.
And
yeah.
then you just, yeah, and you'd all,
you get busted for evading arrest or whatever.
and but you'd all show up together, you know, because you're
Yeah.
at the same place.
They'd get out and draw their guns on you. Get down! It's my house.
Was it running?
Yeah, that would be like the biggest misunderstanding ever, you know?
Just fall in the
That would have been horrible.
All right, Jake,
Good
thank
thought.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Jake, it's fine. Yeah.
I even asked him before the show started. I said, hey, do you have a stupid person of the week? And he said yes. And then I forgot to ask.
Well, good job sticking it in there, Jake.
Try not to have a heart attack if you see someone jaywalking.
Oh, no.
I don't like to see people crowding anybody. That always it's like, why don't you just chill? Just chill. But yeah, I get, you know, it's a fire truck. Who knows? Maybe they have a good reason to be a little bit non-chill. But
me, I look at it, and my opinion is none of my fucking business. I don't give a shit.
Well, what if they crash the
I hope
truck,
that guy.
though?
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope the guy didn't get pulled over. You know, and I bet they're friends and family. You know,
Hopefully.
they all go to the same place. I hope, and I hope nobody was hurt. You know, I hope there wasn't a fire that damaged anybody's house and put them out. Jake, why'd you have to bum me out with this story?
I don't know. Sorry.
That's okay. I'm happy. You know why? Because I get to thank Darren Snyder from Indian Tune, and Mike Moore from the WFODicks.com guys, and John G from the 405 Media Group dudes, and Kenny and Mike from Howie at the Coffee Shop, and Mary Elizabeth Rumsey from meandrhyme.wordpress.com, and Mike Moore. You know what? I like that guy.
Yeah.
And I'd like to
Rich
thank
Barker from Punk Rock Night at the Melody Inn, where every Saturday
yeah.
night is Punk Rock Night. We're doing it live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on strangelabel.com.
All right. Let's thank Ron at Radio Mix Music, Jeremy at Couch Potato Nation, Mark at Tangent Bound Network, Jack at the Mix FM, Suma Peter at Loudtown Online Radio, Mike from the Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks Internet Radio Program, Tom at TalkStream Live, Mike at IRN Internet Radio Network, Toby at Radio Blitz, Mars Soundman at United Sound Choice, Tico at FJS Radio, Peter at Cornucopia Broadcasting, TJ at Deep Talk Radio, Big Nate on the air at Cover Charge Radio. Big Nate! Yay. Thanks for the golf claps. Oh, they're there.
Jake, do you play golf?
No.
It seems like something you're supposed to do when you get older.
Do you play golf?
I don't, but I have a golf club in the back of my, or the golf bag in the back of my
You're closer
car.
than I am.
That's a weapon.
No, it's not a club, it's just a bag. I said club, but it's just a bag. It's a cool bag.
A golf bag.
What are you gonna put in a golf bag besides golf clubs?
Yeah, you gotta put clubs in there, so I might do that.
Baseball bat? Be like that guy in Ninja Turtles where takes out all the weapons. Yeah. Alright.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you play it, and I know this is recording, and I hope you play it. Okay, see you guys.